We just keep improving. I mean, I think, obviously it starts with trying to slow down Anthony Edwards, Bradley Beal starting on the basketball, doing a great job. Our bigs, really being up in pick and rolls to prevent him from getting downhill. And, there was just a lot of improvement from last game. We had a strong performance against the Cavs, but we challenged our guys to be even better because there was areas that we could still be better. We don't want to be a good defense. We want to be a great defense. And our guys responded. A lot of the stuff we worked on carried over into tonight's game. I think Nurk is really, really grown throughout the course of the season as a rim protector, and just blocking everything that comes to the basket, understanding the drop coverage that we want him to be in, and is really trusting his teammates, to go attack and block shots that his teammates will cover his back. So that piece is growing. And, the most impressive thing for me was that, even though we had, when we have 18 turnovers, they only had 9 fast break points. Like, we're recovering those possessions way better than we did even 2 weeks ago. We just made a commitment. We say every day we're going to watch our transition defense and figure out how we can be better with our effort, focus, alertness, matching up, all those ways to save those possessions. And, this was a response to that work.
In the past, when you've obviously installed new defenses with teams, is this the longest it's taken for a team of yours to grasp it all, or is that a fair assessment?
It's tough to measure. I mean, ideally, whatever team you're with, you get stronger as the year goes on, and that's been the case with this group.
How did you like the way that you guys executed offensively against their length and physicality? You had 29 assists on 33 baskets.
Yeah, I mean, other than the turnovers, I like the way you played. I liked how fast we played. We want to be a team that can run, and we don't want to just play half-court basketball against any opponent. We want to get out and play with pace, and I thought there was a commitment to that tonight. And when we do that, and I think that the balance of getting everybody involved, keeping the basketball moving. If we could just get it, that type of ball movement with a fewer turnovers, got a chance to reach our potential.
How much of a luxury is it to have KD in that weak side corner when Nurk catches the ball in the short roll? It makes that low man help really difficult to know what to do.
Yeah, we got weapons all over the floor. So if they want to bring 2 to the ball at the top of the floor, it's we're going to have a high percentage of punishing that type of coverage. So, and if they play base coverage, we got guys that can then attack that and score at an efficient rate as well.
That third quarter kind of turned into a rock fight. You were trying to muck the game up. How did you like the way that the guys kind of stayed composed and were able to push the lead back out again?
We started turning the ball over, and that part is an area we have to get better with. But I think within that stretch, some of the guys in the locker room were talking that even though we had some bad possessions offensively, our defense was great. Our defense held the fort down, and kept us in the game, kept them from going on a run. We weren't scoring, but they weren't scoring either, and that's what you want with a great defense.
Coach, in each of the last 2 games, you guys virtually led the entire time and survived the opposing runs. With all the criticism at the beginning of the season about closing out games, how do you think your ability to close out games has improved?
Well, it's improving. I still think we can score at a higher clip. But we're getting stops. And we're preventing them from making runs. That's good enough. But ideally, you put your foot on the gas and you see a 20-point lead go up to 30. That's what we're hoping for.
It seemed like once they dribbled inside the 3-point line, your guys' hands were everywhere. How did you like the activity of the help on some of those drives?
Yeah, our gap helps. I watched our game from when we played these guys earlier in the season, and it was night and day. I mean, just night and day how spread apart our defense was. We were not a tight shell, and we've really grown. It takes time. It's habits, and film sessions and practice and shell defense and drill work and just continuing to pound the rock, until the habits really start to form. And those guys were great in that regard tonight. Yeah, I don't want to get too high and too low. Minnesota didn't play their best game tonight. They're a hell of a basketball team. And we did some good things. We played well, but we know when they're at their best, they're gonna be better than they showed tonight. We'll expect that in the last game of the year, and They're doing a great job over there.
One of the things you did well in the beginning especially was get to the paint, get inside the paint, score inside the paint. How much was that a factor from the way you guys jumped off?
Yeah, it's a big factor, and it's hard to do with Rudy in there, So, they're number one in the league in defending the paint, and we have guys that hopefully can bring Rudy away from the basket with our shooting ability, and when we do that, we got rolls behind, redrives, all those types of things.
Coach Grayson mentioned just with the defense, you guys were so connected as a result of the communication. What have you seen with that and you guys communicating more?
It's one of the habits. We're on our guys all the time about talking more, calling out coverages, but just talking to each other. Just, I got ball, I got a screen coming this way, help left, help right. I'm the low man. All those things just strengthen the guys around you, knowing what's around you. So we're better on the ball. We're better with our weak side. Communication helps everything.
Coach, to that point, it seems like all season players have been talking about how they want defense, some need offense. It seems like you guys are really buying into that now. Is that something that you saw has changed over the past 2 games?
Absolutely. Well, hopefully it's grown throughout the course of the year, but I think in the last 3 we've seen that. Every time we show fast break offense, we show why we got into that situation. A great box out, a great defensive stand, a great defensive possession where we did not foul. When you foul, you put them to the line. There's no fast break. So we always show, the defense that led to the transition offense, and we're seeing that more now.
Do you get a sense, even though you don't want to get too high or too low, that this team is starting to peak at the right time?
Yeah, I don't really feel like, we want to play our best basketball come playoff time, and right now, we really have to just focus on the next game. We played 3 great games, or 3 good games, I should say, and we want to continue to strive for greatness, so, we're far from perfect, so we got to keep trying to get better.
But like we said the other day, every one of these games was a playoff game, and it seemed, and you're building 5 games left to that point.
Yeah, we got to play well to beat these teams, and the next 5 are, not any more or just as challenging as the last 5 have been, and we have to play at this level to win those games.
Has held them to a season low 87 points, meaning you guys gave up a season low 87. What do you feel like were keys tonight defensively?
I just think that we closed up the paint and was able to get out the shooters as well. 10 for 29 from the 3, but I think a lot of them were over contest. But we were just there for each other, helping guys in pick and roll, being a low man, helping on drives, and it was just tough to stop. And so we had to meet him with bodies, and I think we did a solid job of doing that.
How important is it to not only meet him with bodies, but force him to do different releases at the basket?
You can't force him to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just got to, win the numbers game. Just have more players on them. 2 or 3 guys in this area. We're not selling out to stop them, but you show presentation like there is more help than it is, and hopefully that deters him a bit. But he's tough. He moves so smooth and effortlessly that a lot of times he can beat double and triple teams. So, but I think we did a solid job of just forcing tough shots, not putting him on the free throw line, and getting on and running as well.
One other thing I had on that was, what were keys for you when you were guarding him? Obviously, you get the hand up. But
I didn't want to foul first off because I had a bad start with the fouls in the first quarter. I had 2, and then I had 3 in the second quarter. So I didn't want to be too physical with him, and he loves contact. So I just try to use my length as much as possible.
How did you like the way you guys executed against their length and physicality on defense?
I like that we were patient. We still turned the ball over 18 times. We still had 29 assists. I think that we had good intentions a lot. They're a tough team, long athletic team who can guard. A lot of those guys on that team can guard multiple positions, so it's tough on you. But we stayed poised. I think they cut it down to maybe 13, 14. They were hitting shots there, and we stayed the course. I think the last 2 games showed that we could stay poised when teams started to cut the lead on us, and tonight was one of those nights.
AD, what do you think is going on in the last 3 games? You beat some really good teams.
Just playing together on the defensive side of the ball. We're not waiting to get into the game. Middle of the first quarter, start of the second quarter. I think we're taking a fight to these teams from the tip off, and that's putting us in good positions to finish games.
Do you think that you're peaking at the right time?
I don't even look at it that way. But I mean, we just want to keep putting in good days, man. Not think too deep about it. Just come to work tomorrow.
What have you kind of seen from Nurk in the short roll? I know some of those possessions you're in the corner, and it's really hard for that low man to kind of decide what he wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, initially it's the guy who draws two on the ball, and then we trust Nurk to make all those passes. And he's been phenomenal at kicking out to threes, especially in that short roll. So he finds me in that corner a lot. And it's rare that I get corner threes, wide open corner threes, and I've been seeing a lot of them this year because he's such a good passer, and then also because Book and Bragg can put two on the ball. That puts the team in a bind. A lot of guys don't want to just leave me wide open over there in the corner, but you don't want to give up a layup either. So it's a good problem to have for us when we got multiple guys open.
Seeing a final score like that, is it a flashback to the start of your career? Two teams under 100?
Yeah, it is. It was a good defensive game. I think we started off hot, but outside of that, nobody scored over 30 points in the quarter. In the first, we only had in that first quarter we had 32. So I'm sure. Let me be honest. I think you're gonna start seeing these type of scores in the playoffs too. So it should be a fun. The end of the season always fun winding down, but the playoffs should be a good brand of basketball.
You guys have had plenty of wins this year where you've gotten like 120s, 130s. Can it be a confidence booster for the group to win a rock fight like this, knowing they're coming in the playoffs?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think it's all the great teams playing a variety of ways and being able to adapt to how the game is being played. We don't want to get, too. Once we don't see the ball go in the rim, sometimes we end up, trying to force it and make turnovers. But even though we had a few tonight, I think we stayed poised throughout it all. So, being able to win games under 100 and games in the 130s is good for us.
Kevin, after tonight's performance and your third straight win over a playoff team, what's been the biggest difference of your guys' play now and from the beginning of the season?
We've seen flashes early in the beginning of the season of what we can be defensively, offensively. I just think, 77 games played, I think we're just getting more and more comfortable with each other and understanding our roles individually and trying to bring it to the team. And coach's staff been emphasizing how important these games are, so guys are just digging down even deeper to be better as individuals.
You also never had the full team on the floor all season until quarters into the season, right?
Yeah, you can say that, but we still had opportunities to win basketball games and build who we are with guys in and out the lineup. I think that's a testament to how together you are as a group when you can win those type of games. We won some, we lost some, but obviously we want everybody to be healthy, but if guys aren't, it's a good opportunity for other players to step up and get some minutes, and that'll help us towards the end of the season.
And basically you went up 15-0 today, and then you just maintained it the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's a great formula to have. I know every game's not going to be like that. The last few were like that. But, when we get hit first, that's always a good way to start the games. And, it's a game of runs. So, and for us to not let them get on big runs like we got on was the key.
Kevin, off topic, but the women's Final Four tonight, it's been a huge year for that tournament and the women's game in particular. Just what have been your thoughts on seeing the way it's gone this month?
Yeah, I always feel like the women's tournament has been great for the last 20 years, but obviously with more media, more social media, you can see who's watching the games now, and so the noise is a little louder around it. And it's only good for the women's game, not just collegiate sports, but the WNBA as well. It's huge for the sport overall, but the tournament always had great brand of basketball. These have been ladies for the last 40 years that have been playing incredible ball. But it's good that they're getting some recognition right now. But you should do your research and learn the history of how many great players have played in that tournament as well.
You got Iowa or South Carolina?
I got USC winning that. 38-0. That's gonna be a fun game. Caitlin's last game of her career. Chance for them to go 38-0 and 2 out of 3 championships. That'll be special. Both sides it'll be special regardless, So should be a fun championship.
That was on it, huh?
Yeah, man. She lost 3 games in 3 years. That's insane.
How's it feel to get out and run? You guys outpaced them 17-9, fast break points, 20 deficits tonight?
Yeah, We always talked about that throughout the whole season. I think we are efficient-wise. We're like top 2 or 3 team in the league in transition, but we might be bottom 5 of actually getting those opportunities. So as much as we can get out in transition, is always good for our team because we convert pretty well.
You had mentioned staying the course when teams start to chip away at your guys' lead. I know you're probably sick of talking about fourth quarters, but what do you feel like over these last 3 games you guys have been able to do well in that?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously how we start the games dictates how you finish the games, and I think we've taken every possession seriously from the first to the last, and that's making our fourth quarters better. You get up 20 points, going into the fourth or late in the fourth, teams might close the lead up and like tonight and in garbage time, and the stats could look like we didn't play well in the fourth, but I think we did a solid job of keeping them at bay, making the right plays defensively and offensively, and helped us get this win.
Playing in your gaps really well. How'd you like the defensive performance tonight as a whole?
We did great. A lot of deflections and steals. A lot of making guys pick the ball up earlier than they want to and getting back out to the shooters. And it helps when you got a team like them that drives the ball really well. This was one of our best communication games of the season. Everyone talking on the backside, like loading up, talking about who has the low man, who has the first pass out to three-point shooters. It was just great all around defensively.
Coaches talked about Nurk's improved rim protection throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
What have you kind of seen from him all year, from October to now, in terms of how that's improved?
Most of the time he makes really good reads in the pick and roll of when to stay home to the big or contest the guy at the rim. He does a good job of altering shots. Like, you can't knock Nurk back. Like, the guys try to big shoulder him or bump him back. He's solid, and he's going to be there to contest. And he's pretty sneaky when it comes to getting blocks and meeting guys at the rim and pinning it against the glass. So he's been really great all year.
When Frank or any of you guys are talking about the value of communicating more, obviously you all know what needs to happen in those moments. Is it just about the trust factor of knowing what's supposed to happen is going to happen so you can kind of do your part within that?
Trust, comfortability, like once you get comfortable and confident in what our system is and what we want to do out there, then it's much easier for guys to direct each other. We don't have just one anchor talking out our whole defense. Like, it's all the guys out there, whoever's the low man, talking about to the other guy to stay high, talking about our pick and roll coverages, our switches, everything. So I think it's a little bit of a mixture of everything, but it definitely has gotten a lot better over the past week, and tonight was kind of showing the result of that and how good we can be defensively when we do that.
With the communication and everybody kind of taking accountability for doing that, not just, oh, this guy's our talker or whatever, was there a game or a moment or anything that you feel like inspired that, or has it just been gradual?
Not really. It's been gradual. We've been harping on it all year to be better. Book has probably been the most vocal on the court defensively for most of the year, but it's turning into everybody talking.
How does it feel to actually make this statement when with the best player on the floor? You guys struggled in a couple games without some of your opponent's best players, namely against Oklahoma City, and now you guys are basically controlling the pace and outrunning and outscoring them in the open floor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people expect us to get double-digit wins not scoring 100 points. So this is a big win for us. It's a statement for us defensively, and the whole past couple weeks has been. We've been really good defensively, and so it helps when you have a defense like this that, when you have an off night, when you can't get to 100 points, when you can't get to 110, 115 offensively, to be able to hold a team like this, a really good team, like this, to under 90 points is big time.
What do you think works in this case where you held, Edwards to, his final field goal at halfway through the third quarter?
good effort from guys on the ball. It was mainly Brad tonight, a little bit of me and Book guarding them, but the whole night we had guys behind talking and letting us know which direction the help was, giving us confidence to be up in the ball because we knew someone had our back behind. And so it wasn't just one-on-one. It was everyone on the court guarding them, and our rotations being good behind that too.
Grayson, you guys have been the number one rebounding team in the NBA since also played. You had 8 rebounds tonight. What's kind of been the importance of rebounding?
Limiting teams to one shot is big. Helps our defense too, especially in the half court. And then Nurk and Drew have been beasts on the offensive boards all year, and a lot of times too, those guys are boxing out the opposing team's 5-man, and so a lot of times, like tonight, I had a lot of them just crashing in, and while those guys are wiping out their man, just coming in and cleaning up and getting the board, so that there's no chance for an offensive rebound for them. But Nurk and Drew have been kind of holding it down for us all year. Have been great.
How big was that with Nurkic, with not only the 13 defensive boards, but keeping Rudy, who was a monster on the offensive glass? I only had 2, I think, tonight.
Yeah, Nurk's a beast. He's pretty consistently. There's not many games this year where you think Nurk's been outworked on the boards.
When you look at first, how's your hip?
Good.
Okay.
Probable.
Probable hip, right. It became available. You wouldn't get 500K. Like Phil. But anyway, the rhythm tonight for you, how quickly did you feel like you got into that tonight?
I think I made my first shot, so pretty quickly.
So for you, did you have any lingering thing with the hip at all, or no?
No, not tonight. So 3 days did me well.
Was there a conversation pregame about needing to really come out strong? I mean, did you see this coming at all with the 15-0 start?
Well, I mean, you don't really expect to pitch a shutout through the first 6 minutes of a game, but we have been talking about the great games that we've had recently. We've had either great or terrible, and so the consistency of just coming out and having great games for 48 minutes, and I feel like that energy was there to start the game, especially defensively, and I don't think there was any letdown through the whole game.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah, thank you.